There is no Swarg or Nark. Swarg or Nark is what we create. Outside is hell. The other is hell, according to the French philosopher Sartre. Whenever we want something from the world kicks you. It gives you suffering. And it's not that the world is bad. Our demand from the world creates disturbances in the society. The more you want, less the society wants to give you. And the less you want, the more you get. If you are living with your spouse, try putting more demands, and the less and less you will get. Ask for nothing, and you get everything. The demand from one person to another creates the disturbances in the psyche of another person, and it creates an unpleasant situation for him or her. And the disturbances continue in this vast ocean of consciousness, which is one calm body of consciousness. The disturbances start, and the life becomes hell. If the consciousness does not know its own nature, because of the desire to get things from outside, the consciousness starts shaking. This shaking is the mind. Mind is created by disturbances in this universal consciousness. When desire arises, mind becomes active. Disturbances start in the consciousness, and the goal is created, and the actions happen without even realizing all these things happening all the time. We keep on doing it. We never have time to sit down and analyze our own life. Once the consciousness knows itself, it reaches to a point that it becomes self-sufficient. Demand from the world disappears. Whatever you get makes you happy. Whatever you don't, that's okay too. You become self-contained and self-satisfied. In this state, you reach to the center of the wheel. The wheel of samsara keeps on rotating around you, but it's at the center where there is peace. The center of the wheel never moves. The peace, the quiet, the bliss, which is hidden within ourselves, can be discovered. And at that point, you can be an observer of the wheel of samsara. And as an observer, you are not a participant. You are an enjoyer of watching a show or a movie or a play. Mind looking for excitement tires you out. when you have a lot of energy, you keep on looking for newer and newer ways to excite yourself with the hope that the next excitement will give you perpetual peace. But it is elusive. So that eventually mind tires out. But there are so many ways mind finds its own ways to keep itself occupied. Either it keeps on looking for new ways to excite itself. That's how the newspapers and CNNs, they are in business. They keep on bringing new things for you. Even if they are cruel and full of violence, it's enough for mind to get excited. Stories of goodness are too boring for the mind. So mind keeps itself occupied with different avenues of excitement. Or mind cannot take it and wants to imbibe itself into the addictive substances. Smoking, drinking, drugs, sex. All these are temporary relief for the mind because these are repetitive behaviors where mind does not have to think anymore. And the mind relieves itself from itself temporarily. But the third avenue, which is the avenue of sadhana, samadhi state, where you understand the actions of the mind, where you become an observer of the mind and mind quiets down. And the true joy starts, which is not dependent on any new excitements. Mind does not see anything exciting in this world. Everything that is coming from the world seems limited, with its limited ability to give you new excitement. But when you find a spot of samadhi for yourself, you reach the calmness, satisfaction, joy, which is not dependent on any matter. So it lasts forever. The matter, because it keeps on changing, creates the time. The mind holds on to the past frames of events that took place, connects it with the present, and projects new frames of events to take place for the future. Mind is the capacity to observe this change, but only at the mind level you get involved in it. All these events look real. They upset you. The regrets of the past haunt you. Anxieties of the future haunt you. You get attached to whatever is in the front of you, excites you. These three avenues of suffering get shut off when you rise yourself above the mind and you realize this continuous race of the mind between the past, the present, and the future is what creates the time. And since we synchronize our watches with everyone else in the world, the whole sansara is created based on time. But when you go into the samadhi state, you achieve Shashvatta, because the time does not exist anymore. The space does not exist anymore because the space is created by the matter. Emptiness is emptiness only in relationship to the material. Two objects are separated by space. These objects themselves are what they are, but they also define the space in between. So space is also a creation of the mind, because mind is perceiving these objects with its sense organs, and it calculates the distance between the objects. So as the Shastra says, Kal and Chitra are the creations of the mind, and all its sufferings are also built into the mind. So when this whole package is transcended, there is no suffering, there is only joy, there is only existence, there is no death, there is no birth, and there is immortality. So strive for this, understand this, go deep within, find yourself, your own center of consciousness. Have a good day.